So what is an exit strategy? An exit strategy is often thought of as a way to end the business, which it can be. In the best practice, it's a plan that moves the business forward for long-term goals and allows for a smooth transition to a new phase or a sale or a wind-up of the company. A fully formed exit strategy takes all business stakeholders, finances, and operations into account and details all actions necessary to sell or close. Exit strategies vary from company to company depending on their size, but the strong corporate leaders plan and take everything into account before executing an exit strategy. So there are 8 types of exit strategies that I'm going to talk about tonight. These are the most common ones and most suitable for entrepreneurs and startups and established businesses. But ultimately, the one you choose will depend on your own financial, personal, business goals. I have some of the pros and cons for each of these exit strategies, and I'll discuss them with you. So the first one is the M&A asset purchase. M&A is a merger. Take this step. M&A is a merger, and an asset deal is where you're buying the assets of the company. So this is what a deal team would look like. We use these shells to set up our deals. This one is for a company that appears to have some sort of IP in it. So we have in the center, you're going to have your team leader, and then they're going to assign things. This is for a big deal because we have 2 full teams plus a specialty to support. These people here on these teams prepare documents and exchange them with opposing counsel. And then specialty support would be like our patent attorneys looking at a patent portfolio, or trademark attorneys looking at the trademark portfolio, making sure everything's been properly filed and they are protected. So merger and acquisitions are strong exit plans. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So why is the team that big? This is a due diligence exchange document request for documents for a purchase agreement. It has 159 separate requests for documents. So these things can be quite big and complex. I'm not going to read them all to you because you would just, you wouldn't like it. But just the basic topics are financial matters, general corporate documents, material contracts, real property, environmental, that's a big one, licensing and regulation, banking and indebtedness, insurance bonds, operations and materials, labor and employment matters, pensions and employee benefits. Those 2 are quite extensive. Litigation and audits and compliance with laws and intellectual property. So we'd be checking the portfolio. So there's a lot to go through on these deals. They take time. Clients get frustrated that it takes months to get all this stuff taken care of, but you just got to have to be patient with us because you need your I's dotted and your T's crossed before you buy anything. So, so there were strong exit plan options for any company, and particularly attractive for startups and entrepreneurs as a way to get out from what they're doing. You'll be selling all of your business or all of your assets to another company, and you're just going to have to go through the due diligence process. The pros of purchasing or selling assets, purchase of the company or selling, is it's the strongest exit strategy for the business owners. You can maintain control over the price, control and set the terms of the deal. If you don't like the deal, you don't have to do the deal. And if you're selling to a competitor or entertaining multiple bids, then you'll have a chance to drive the price up. The cons of the M&A process is very time-consuming, and they fail. I would say a good probably quarter of the deals just never close. So nobody wants to get a big bill for a transaction, but that's a reality that you're looking at if you're going into an M&A transaction. Another way to exit out of the company is to sell your stake to a partner or an investor. And so that sounds as simple as it is. It depends on how many partners you have, what that would look like. But if you just have one partner, then he's just going to buy you or she's going to buy you out. And then the venture capital is just going to come in and grab your share too. Pretty straightforward. The pros are that the company can continue to run with minimal disruption during the transaction and keeps revenue streams flowing. And it's likely that if you're selling to one of your partners, they have a vested interest in the business and they're committed to keeping the business running for the long term. So you would have a peace of mind knowing that what you built is going to keep on going down the road. The cons are sometimes it's hard to find an investor, or your partner may not want to buy you out. We tend to see that when you're selling to a partner or a good friend, people tend to be less aggressive in their pricing, so you get less money for your company than if you sell it to a third party. Family succession, and this is it's called a succession exit or a succession exit or a legacy exit, and this is where you want to keep your business, the profitable business, in the family. The business exists. It's no less important than any other type of exit, but they can be a little bit trickier. It is an appealing option if you want to pass down your company legacy to your child or your family member, and it's important to ensure that that person is up for the job. So sometimes we see the kids come in and they really were kind of asleep at the switch and don't know how to run the company, and you get hiccups upon the transition. So really vet the kids to make sure that they know what they're doing and that they want to do it too. So the pros are, as a family member, it's likely that they have an intimate knowledge of the business and a good understanding of how to run it. And one nice thing about transitioning to children is you can put them in the company for several years before you actually switch over the ownership interest. So they get a lot of time transitioning into that leadership role. And with the business and the family, you're going to retain a very close connection with the business and your family members. And you probably would stay on as an advisor or in a consulting capacity too. So you'd still have your hands on your business, but just not have to run it all the time. The cons are the idea of running multiple generation family businesses might seem attractive, but you have to have someone who's capable of doing it and who wants to do it. A lot of time the kids are like, Dad, just sell it. I don't want to do it. So, and there's also, you see this too, the blurring of professional and personal lives sometimes leads to financial or emotional stress within the family. So that's certainly a consideration you want to talk through very carefully with someone. This one's kind of neat, this acqui-hires. So this is when the company is bought strictly to acquire the talent that you have in the company. And so this type of transaction is really beneficial to the skilled employees, because you can be confident that they are going to have gainful employment in the new company for the foreseeable future. So pros are pretty obvious. They're trying to acquire your talent. You're going to be in a good position to negotiate better terms for yourself because they want the talent, and your employees will have a nice future. Cons, you may struggle to find someone who wants to make that kind of a transition, and with you will get 159 document requests. So the next one is management buyouts, and it sounds pretty obvious what they are. These are people that are already working with the business, so you can rest assured that you're able to transition for these people for the foreseeable future. And because they're familiar with it, they should be well equipped to run your company on a going forward basis. So this would give me a lot of comfort if I had a management buyout for my company. So your pros are you can trust that it's going to be run by someone who's experienced with the organization, and the handover process is going to be relatively straightforward. The cons are they may not be manager or employees who are ready or interested in stepping in and taking over the country. And sometimes significant changes in ownership and management have adverse effects on the companies. So here's the one that gets all the news, the initial public offerings, and just a shout out to Mark, who did a very complex reverse merger deal, got to go ring the bell at the NASDAQ as a result of his merger, so great thing for him. Anyway, so IPOs, you're taking your business public and you're selling it to shares of stock to the shareholders. And so that has the potential to be extremely lucrative. I mean, this is where you make a lot of money. But they're very challenging and they take quite a long time. The pros are the potential to earn a substantial profit, more than any other exit strategy that's out there. The cons are that you're going to have intense ongoing scrutiny from regulators, stockholders, and the public. The IPO, you have mandatory reporting, and the IPO due diligence is very difficult and very costly. So you better be sure of your company when you're going to take it out. So now we get to the unfun ones. Liquidation. This is pretty common exit strategy for when businesses are failing. It is the final exit strategy, and you close it down, you sell off all the assets, you pay off your debtors, your creditors first, and then if there's any money left over, shareholders would be paid pro rata. Typically, there's not when these businesses are failing, so I hope none of you have to go through a liquidation. The cons are that liquidation is not a high-value exit, so you're not going to get your money back typically, and you're going to be breaking ties with your employees and your customers. And then finally, bankruptcy. This one doesn't require a business plan. You just file your file your schedules. The U.S. trustee will come and grab what assets he thinks are valuable and sell them and pay off your creditors. So the pros are you're unburdened of your debts and the responsibilities of your business. Cons are it's going to be really tough sledding for the next 7 years, getting loans and things like that. So what are the steps to develop an exit plan? First, you prepare an accurate account of your finances, both personally and professionally, and you have to have a sound understanding of the expenses, assets, and business performance, and make sure that you know the ins and outs of what it is you're going to sell and what the true value of the company is. Once you've got a good picture of the company, you should probably consider several different plans and see which one fits best for you. And if you have trouble making a decision, maybe speak with a business lawyer or a CPA, and they can help walk you through the ins and outs of which plan would be best for you. You should approach your investors and stakeholders and share your intent to exit the business. Create strategy that advises the investors on how they're going to be repaid, and you should have a detailed understanding of your finances that will be useful for this. And since investors are going to be looking to you for answers of how am I getting my money back, you're going to have to be able to explain that to them. And then once you've decided to exit, you got to choose new leadership, and you do that very carefully. Make sure the person has a good operational understanding of the company and that they can work well with your stakeholders. Then you should tell your employees, be open and honest with them about your intent to leave, and be ready for some blowback from them. They can sometimes be quite upset. And then finally, you got to tell your clients and your customers, if your business is going to continue with a new owner, take the new owner to your clients and introduce them to get that relationship handoff going. And if you're closing, give your customers some sort of alternatives and options. So the best strategy for you is the one that fits your goals and expectations, and it's about you as the owner. You should do what you think is right for yourself, first and foremost. So if you want the company to continue, you would want to sell it to an employee, sell it to a family member, or sell it to another entity. And if you wanted to liquidate, then you would either liquidate or file bankruptcy. So that's what I got for you today. It's real high, 50,000 foot. I want to go in super detail, so I hope you enjoyed it.